Look at this. It's a new guy. It's just parlays, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your new host, Scott Steen. I am the lead handicapper at winnersandwiners.com. I'm joined by this guy in his ever-present Buffalo Bills cap. Who are you, sir?
I'm still Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Okay.
And I'm the host of this show.
Whatever. He's Chris King. He's the king of all parlays. You can get him at Betting Royalty there on the Twitter. I am Scott Steen. You can get me at Steamroller, et cetera, et cetera. It's good to be here. Chris, you have a good weekend?
It was good until, the end of Talladega yesterday when Blaney didn't end up winning, which I thought he was going to. But at least we didn't have to listen to Reichel talk about how whoever he picked, to win didn't. So, there was that plus.
Oh, very good. And Scott, Chris, I'm going to be doing that a lot, by the way.
I'm going to start charging you $5 every time.
I don't blame you, buddy. It is nice to be here. Of course, we are part of the Max Wagers Network as well as the Winners and Winers crew as well. This was supposed to be the big day, Chris, where everybody went to Max Wagers Network. We're all going to Max Wagers Network. Nowhere else. It's the only place you can find us live. And, yeah, that's not the case. We decided to delay that a little bit. I don't think
start offense.
I don't think all of our customers were quite ready for the move. So you can still catch us over at Winners and Winers. But we do want you to subscribe to the Max Wagers Network. Of course, like this video, all that good stuff. And you can check out the entire Max Wagers lineup. It's a pretty big day here, Scott, because we got $10 show on the way. Of course, it starts off every day at noon Eastern time with Sean Higgs doing Midday Money. Next, it's the Plus Money, honey, doing Allie Burns and Morning Wood, followed by you and I here doing Just Parlays, followed by me and Scott Reichel doing Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. And then what's coming up, Chris?
Well, then it'll be the soccer guru there, Sean Miller, will take over at 4.
That's right.
And then we've got the law firm of Detroit Lenny, Tim, and Nick with Game Time Decision at 5.
That's right. It's the Earls bringing their pearls as well as Detroit Lenny. So
who will bring probably a new hat every day.
He's got some hats, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
I've got one hat.
They're all Detroit related, but at least he's representing his own city.
I've got one hat, Chris. It's a straw hat that we put on.
You didn't get a new hat? I thought you were going to get a new hat.
Got a new hat yet, man. So did you have a good weekend? Did you win some bets, make some money?
Yeah, we had a 4-teamer yesterday since St. Louis came back to beat Anaheim. So that worked out. Of course, then I had to watch Vegas blow a 2-goal lead in the last 3 minutes to lose in a shootout.
Kind of what they do.
What's that?
It's kind of what they do, isn't it?
Pretty much. Our good buddy Ryan, if he pops in chat, will probably be happy because he likes the San Jose Sharks. Sadly, he admits that, but there's probably only about 6 people that still do.
Right.
It's good to know that we have at least one of those 6.
Very good. We'll say hi to some people in the chat. Super Sly in the hizzy. Michael Doe's checking in. Super Sly says, Steamroller. That's right, baby. Here I am. Andrew says KD will be joining the Celtics soon.
He might as well. He's not getting a ton of help.
Jim Williams says this is his favorite show.
Who's Jim Williams? That's some
I bet it is now. Now that you've unloaded this on me, buddy.
I don't know who this Jim Williams guy is.
Who is this Jim Williams?
Must be some new guy. Never seen him in the chat before.
Dean says he rarely does parlays, so let's get on with the show. He's right. He's absolutely right. I'm not necessarily the parlay guy, although I do occasionally. You send me your parlays, Chris, and here's how that works. When I play them, you have a terrible day. When I lay off, your parlays win.
But hey, you did have that 6-teamer back on the first day I sent him to you.
First day I played him, hit a 6-teamer. I'm like, my God, I'm never going to have to work for a living again. And then it's been brrr.
Well, that's because half the time you forget about them because you go to the lake or whatever.
Whatever, man. I got a life, dude.
Well, I don't just see. You need to be like Reichel, then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
My God, that kid's got to get out of his house. He's going to the Nets game tonight. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I think he's sitting behind an obstructed post. That way it'll be just like home.
Speaking of obstructed posts, make sure you follow him on Twitter as well. So
to listen to him talk about absolutely nothing relevant.
No, absolutely not. So, hey, we've got a couple of cool things going on as far as our promos go. Just in time for Major League Baseball, DraftKings is doing a cool thing, Chris, where you bet $5 any money line, and they give you $200 in free bets. That's a pretty good deal, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, come on, free bets. I mean, then you're not wasting your own money.
That's right. And so that's a cool thing right there. Of course, you have to be in one of the states where DraftKings is legal. You have to be 21 to play, except for the states of, do you know what they are?
Which states it's not legal?
You have to be 18 in 2 states.
Oh.
Everything else you have to be 21.
I actually don't.
You don't listen to our show, do you? Man,
I usually do my show, and then then I have to actually write because I have to work for a living, unlike some people.
I understand. I only have to. I just have to make you guys try to look good. So I think I have the toughest job of all.
This is your first day on the show. What are you talking about making anybody look good? You have to drag Rochelle's sorry carcass around. That's not my problem.
In New Hampshire and Wyoming, by the way, that's the 2 states right there.
Well, Wyoming is the equality state.
Very good. And it's also the one with the bucking bronco on the license plate. That's how I know him. So make sure you check that out there, of course. And we're also doing a thing with Caesars where you can bet up to $1,100, and it's basically insured. I like that insured situation, Chris. If you win your money. If you lose, Caesars basically gives it back to you and makes it good. Of course, it's good only on your first bet. And it must be in one of the states where Caesars is available. Of course, there are links in the show description to both of those, as well as the code. It is I don't know, is it WAWCZRS for you guys too?
Yeah.
All right, very good. I know this. I know the stuff is loaded here. Just looking. Yeah, and then as far as the DraftKings promo, that's WAW video. And you can catch that all in the comments or in the description. And, of course, we are still giving away the Winners and Winers baseball guide. It is over 100 pages, just chock full of all the information that you would need. And, yes, it's still relevant because, pitchers have made 3 starts? Come on. It's a long season, man.
It is.
All
and
right.
Some of those teams that have made 3 starts, or some of those guys that made 3 starts wish they hadn't.
It's been kind of an interesting season for a couple of guys. Chris, did you watch that game last night? Pretty good umpire game there, huh?
Yeah, Angel Hernandez is probably the best umpire in Major League Baseball.
I believe Kyle Schwarber summed up the feelings of a lot of America there in the second to the last bat of the game as he threw his bat down, threw his helmet down, and then proceeded to show Angel Hernandez exactly all the spots he'd missed pitches all night long. It was, if you haven't seen it, find that clip. It is highly entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he has a job, in all honesty. Hernandez has been bad for years. When you call a strike 6.5 inches off the plate, it's usually not a good sign. But let's face it.
You get to 85% of his calls right, Chris. 85%. That's not good. These are umpires that usually run in the high 90s is what they shoot for.
Yeah, it's basically, it reminds me of Seinfeld, where Newman talked about, he got in trouble when Jerry delivered his mail because Jerry successfully delivered 80% of the mail, which is way better than the 50% that they normally get.
Right. Absolutely.
And I can say that because my wife worked for the post office, so I can get away with that kind of stuff. You probably can't.
No. I'm sure I'd have a. Remember when they had the Postmaster General on there, Wilford Brimley playing the Postmaster General,
yep.
Bringing him into the office and everything. So the Nets hands down tonight. No,
Ninja asked who was more terrible in a playoff series, the Nets or the Jazz.
Well, that is a very different question.
I would agree with the Nets, and that's not just because I'm a Utah fan. I mean, at least Utah's won 2 games in this series. Brooklyn just looks completely disjointed. I mean, we've watched Durant turn the ball over 17 times in 3 games.
They had 18 turnovers total in the last game. That's a lot for a college team. It is a ton for an NBA team.
I mean, Durant's only shooting, I think, a playoff low 36.5% in this series. They've been shutting him down pretty well. And it's going to be tough sledding for the Nets. I mean, even with Rochelle in attendance, I don't think that they're going to resurrect the Nets playoff hopes.
I do think they get the one tonight. I think they pick up the victory tonight. Coming back home, I think they steal one before they go and lose the series in Boston.
Well, see, I disagree, but that's the fun part about this show is we don't have to agree because that's the way it works. But I just think Brooklyn is dead in the water at this point. I mean, they were at home for Game 3 and lost that one. They just looked completely. The only guy who's played well for them is Bruce Brown, and if that tells you something, if Bruce Brown is your best player, you have problems.
Yeah, nobody was handicapping that series going, well, the Nets have a chance as long as Bruce Brown goes off.
Yeah, as long as Bruce Brown goes off for 20 plus, and Goran Dragic at 47 years old hasn't played since November, as long as he goes off, they're good. You don't need Durant and Irving and those guys.
I said in my video, you're talking about Durant has to go off and everything. I don't believe that's exactly true, but I believe you need 50 points between the two of them. I think if Kyrie and Durant can get to 50, I think the Nets can win.
Yeah, they'll have a chance, but the problem is, can they stop Tatum and Brown?
The Nets are wasting Bruce Brown's prime.
That sounds like reminds me of Major League where they're looking at the list of players that they're going to
have a prime.
Like, yeah, some of these guys never had a prime. This guy here is dead. Cross him off then.
I don't know. I got a guy on the other line about 4 white walls.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy. So is this the point where we usually start talking some parlays?
Yeah, we can. I mean, we start by talking about a couple feature games, and then we go into the parlays towards the end. But sure, we can get in there, start with some baseball because I see we got some questions about it already, and a couple of the games that were mentioned are games we already got on the list.
Well, there you go. So let's talk a little parlay here, shall we?
Yeah, Jennifer was asking about the Red Sox, the Mets, and the Astros. Well, here's the Astros. They're taking on the Texas Rangers at everybody's favorite park, Globe Life Field tonight. Everybody's favorite park, unless you're the Rangers, because the Rangers are just 1-5 at home this year. Houston, they're 7-8. They're 5-4 on the road. They did come back to beat Toronto yesterday to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Blue Jays. The Framber Valdez, 1-1 with a 450 earned run average, 1.571 whip, 10 walks, and 12 strikeouts in 14 innings. Against Dane Dunning, who's 0-1 with a 5.68 ERA, a 1.895 whip, 7 walks, and 14 Ks over 12 2/3. Houston struggled at the plate so far this year, Scott, which is a little bit strange. They're averaging only 3.6 runs per game, 3.44 on the road. I know they're missing Altuve. He's on the injured list, but you still got Alex Bregman and Jordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker, who may bat better than 0.95 or whatever he's hitting right now. The Rangers, they scored a bunch of runs, but you have to remember they scored a ton of runs in their opening series of the year against the Blue Jays. They've kind of tapered off a little bit since then. Houston is 11-4 in their last 15 against a starter with a whip greater than 1.3. They're 13-5 in their last 18 against teams with a winning percentage below 400. And guess what? The Rangers are there at 333. The Rangers 1-4 in their last 5 against starters with a whip greater than 1.3. They're just 1-6 in their last 7 at home. And Houston has gone 40-19 in the last 59 meetings between these teams. I look for Valdez to turn in a better start. Dunning hasn't really impressed me at this point. The Rangers' pitching has been abysmal. And I think Houston will get the win on the road in Arlington.
Very good. I like Framber Valdez quite a bit. Very good slider. I know he hasn't got off to a great start, but I think he'll be solid.
As long as Angel Hernandez, well, it's too bad Angel Hernandez isn't umpiring his game, or he wouldn't have 10 walks.
Let's talk about one of those trends, Chris. You said the Rangers are 1-4 their last 5 against a starter with a whip greater than 1.3.
I mean the Rangers.
The Rangers, yeah, 1-4. What does that even mean? We don't hit bad pitchers well?
Apparently not.
I don't understand what that trend means.
I guess it just means that when you hit a bad pitcher and they come to face Texas, all of a sudden that pitcher looks good.
Okay.
I mean, you look at all the money that Texas spent to upgrade that lineup. They spent $500 million to add Seager and Semien to the middle infield. But they've still got a bunch of holes in that lineup. I mean, are you intimidated by some of the guys that Texas is rolling out there? I personally am not. I mean, look at some of these bozos they got in the lineup. I mean, sure, I know that these guys are obviously good enough to play in the major leagues, or at least, at a 4A level. But you're talking about a Texas team that, Mitch Garver, I mean, he came over from the Twins. He's batting $149. Adolis Garcia is batting $182. Semien, for all the money they paid him, is hitting 183 and hasn't hit a homer yet in 15 games. Jonah Heim is one of their better players, but he's only had 25 at bats. Willie Calhoun's batting 129. Cole Calhoun is batting 200, so nobody's intimidated by them. I don't know who Andy Ibanez is, unless he's related to Raul Ibanez, but he's hitting 205, and Brad Miller's hitting 216.
Not going to be here for long. So you're basically looking at this game, and you've got it at minus 140 for the Astros. Now, if you look at that 40-19 record, that's an implied odds of about 68%. So you're getting a fair amount of overlay when you're only laying 140, right, buddy?
Exactly. And Bronco says we need to get you a hat.
Sure, buddy. I've got a couple of hats, but I've got a like an Irish driving cap. I could put that on.
Why don't you get a Kojak fedora?
I don't know, who loves you, baby. I don't mind that. But yeah, minus 140. That's an implied probability of 58.3%. So you're looking at an overlay there of about 9%. I'll play that every day, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, and plus you can't really put a ton of faith in the Rangers. I mean, Dunning hasn't done anything, and like I said, Texas's pitching has been, well, we'll put it nicely and say brutal, because if you look, the Rangers have one win from their starting rotation, and that's Martin. Two, because I forgot about Glenn Otto, because everybody did. But 2 wins from their starting rotation. They've got 3 wins from the bullpen.
Not ideal.
Their ERA is 5.08. Their WHIP
and I know
144.
I know that bullpen ERA is even worse at home. So not good. They're not good there at Globe Life. Brody said he was at Miggy's 3,000 hit game as the Los Tigres beat the Rockies.
Yeah, that was a blowout in the first game of that doubleheader.
Was it 13-1 or whatever the hell?
13-0.
13-0. Wipe them out.
Yeah,
and then I had the over in the second game. That worked out well.
Yeah, they lost 3-2 in the nightcap, with Bo Brieske making his major league debut for the Tigers.
Unbelievable. The kid had 2 games above AA. So he made 2 AAA starts this year. They brought him up. Started last year at single A. So
yep. Bronco, I now live in South Carolina. I'm originally from about half an hour south of Buffalo, in between. Let's see. Best way to put it is between Hamburg and Silver Creek, for people that live up in New York. I grew up in Angola, then I moved to Forestville, which is where, as some people will tell you, God lost his sneakers.
What? What does that even mean?
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. All right.
I mean, come on. It's no Raytown, Missouri, but I mean, come on.
It is not Raytown. How do you know about Raytown, Missouri, buddy?
I lived in Missouri, remember?
Been studying Alden Smith?
No, I've been studying Holden Caulfield.
Oh, very good. All right. So there you go. We've got the Texas Rangers losing to Houston. I like that play. I think there's good value there. What else you got, bud?
Well, our next one up on the board is the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks.
No.
Because can you really trust the Diamondbacks? I also like this one to be no scoring in the first inning, just for the fun of it. But that's part of the later part of the show. But Walker Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers, Merrill Kelly on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Kelly's pitched well in his first 3 starts. Of course, the problem is the Diamondbacks aren't very good offensively, and that's going to be their problem here. Dodgers lead the majors with 5.47 runs a game. They average 5.38 runs per game on the road. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks are 28th in runs per game at 3.06. They're 25th in runs per game at home, only averaging 3 at Chase Field. That's got to tell you something.
It's not ideal, my friend.
No, the Dodgers 47-9 in their last 56 against teams with a winning percentage below 400. They're 4-1 in their last 5 as a road favorite. They're 4-1 in their last 5 on the road overall. The Diamondbacks 2-6 in their last 8 at home. They are 11-42 in their last 53 against teams with a winning percentage above 600. The Dodgers have gone 39-15 in the last 54 meetings between these squads. I got to tell you, Scott, I mean, I know Merrill Kelly's pitched well, but the Diamondbacks don't put up any kind of offensive production to help their pitching staff.
No, they really don't. And this is a team you've got to have everything going your way if you're going to compete against the Dodgers. You got to be able to hit. You've got to be able to pitch successfully. Wow, there's a hot take right there, huh? You got to be able to pitch and hit in order to beat the best team in baseball. So hope you guys are writing this shit down. These are some just pearls of wisdom I'm dropping on y'all. But seriously, I looked at this game, Chris, when I was making my own play, and the fact that Merrill Kelly had been very good was kind of the wild card in this. Buehler hasn't been fantastic so far this season, trotting out an ERA of 4.02 with a whip of almost 1.5. But still, I just can't quite bring myself to bet against the Dodgers, especially if I'm getting plus 200 here. I'm all over Arizona at plus 165. I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, and to your point about Buehler, you got to remember he struggled in his first start, which was against Colorado at Coors. So I mean that's going to temper expectations for anybody,
right?
I think he's been better of late, and
well, he gave up 3. He gave up 3 earned his last time against Atlanta, but he gave up 8 hits and a walk in 5 innings. I mean, that's still a whip of 1.8. That ain't
true,
good, brother. So yeah, he was decent in his start against Cincinnati. Congratulations. Went 5 2/3, gave up 5 hits, 3 earned, 5 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. So again, a little better there. He's been victimized by the home run ball his last 2 times out, giving up a home run in each of those games. But if ever there's a team to get well against, if it's not the Royals, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Speaking of the Royals, I was going to ask you: is Bobby Witt overmatched? Should he go back to the minors for some seasoning, or are they just going to let him ride it out? Because I know I saw his chase rate was very high.
Yeah, his chase rate has been really high, and that's something that he was able to do in the minors. He had a very good eye and was able to take a walk. So his plate discipline has not been what it was at the lower levels. I predict they're going to give him what is this? The 25th of April,
May 15th.
I was just going to say May 15th. I think that's the date. I think they give him about 3 more weeks.
And one more interesting stat for you about the Diamondbacks game there too, Scott, is Buehler in his career, he's made 11 starts against Arizona. He's 4-0 with a 224 earned run average, 0.871 whip, 18 walks, and 75 strikeouts over 64 1/3.
All right, very good. Dodgers get to their pen. Yeah, that's the other problem at AJ's is if the Dodgers get to the bullpen of the Arizona Diamondbacks, that's probably, what do you say? Not going to end well, Chris?
Yeah, that's gonna leave a mark.
It hasn't been a terrible Diamondbacks bullpen yet. They've got an ERA of about 5.5. They've been a little better at home, 3.8, 3.82 at home. But again, when you talk about the bullpens, this Dodgers bullpen, once again, very good. A sub-2 ERA, 1.56 on the highway as far as their ERA goes. So, yeah, if you wanted to play the Diamondbacks, consider playing first 5 would be the only advice I'd have there. But, you like the Dodgers there. I'm not going to talk you out of that. I'm going to avoid this one.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and you know me, I like to avoid the games where we almost certainly are going to win. So
this is true.
I like to stay away from those. All right, bud. What else got cooked up?
Well, now we get to go to the ice for the one hockey game that the NHL brilliantly scheduled tonight. Everybody's excited about this. Don't pay attention to the records because I forgot to change them. But the Flyers and the Blackhawks, they're both terrible. They're not going to make the postseason. Philadelphia 25-43-11. They're 11-23-5 on the road. The Blackhawks 26-42-11, 12-21-6 at home. Let's face it, I don't know why Gary Bettman decided, hey, we got an open Monday where there's not a lot of baseball and only a couple of NBA games. Let's put up the Blackhawks and the Flyers at the United Center.
It's not a makeup game or anything. It's not a COVID game or anything like that. It's
nothing like that.
Okay.
There'll be literally dozens of people in attendance for this game, I'm sure.
Good seats still available, as they say.
Yeah, good seats still available, probably for about $3. Even that might be overpriced because then you got to buy concessions.
Are we about done with hockey yet? Where are we at here?
Regular season ends this week.
Oh God, let it go. It's over.
And then we get to the ever exciting NHL playoffs, which, much to the chagrin of that Jim Williams guy. Alex Ovechkin got hurt last night against the Maple Leafs. Now they're not sure what his status is going forward. Oh no, I was wrong. Tickets are available as low as $10 for this game. $10.
Nice.
Do yourself a favor, take that money and go buy yourself a sandwich.
Well, if you've never seen a hockey game before, if you wanted to take the kids or something, it could be a good time to take the family. They don't care. You got a 4-year-old kid, he just wants to see some pucks. He wants to see some guys get hit.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I don't care.
If you look at the numbers, go ahead, Scott.
Oh, well, as you know, Chris, my kids are all in their 20s now. They still chuckle and laugh to themselves every time they hear the name Blackhawks. It was a running joke when they were younger. They just couldn't get enough of the Blackhawks. So I'll let you figure out why. I'm not going to lay it out for you, but my kids, they're certainly something.
They're an interesting crew.
So who do you like tonight, buddy?
I'm going to take Chicago. They're playing at home. Philadelphia, they're playing the second game of a back-to-back because they played yesterday. And, they somehow beat Pittsburgh because I guess Pittsburgh forgot to show up.
Mm-hmm.
But now they've got to go from Philadelphia to Chicago. They're going to start Felix Sandstrom, who has as many wins at the NHL level as you in net with a 329 goals against a 915 save percentage against Kevin Lankinen, who has 6 more wins this season than you, even though he's 615
Man,
and
you
6.
don't know my life.
I looked you up on Hockey Reference.
Hockey Reference. I couldn't find me.
Nope.
I'm looking for.
They said, "Are you sure you spelled this correctly?"
There was a Steen that used to play for the Blues, I believe.
Well, there's Alex Steen. He played for Toronto before he went to St. Louis. His father played in the league too. Thomas Steen played for the Winnipeg Jets.
See?
I'm sure Sly is very familiar with him.
Who?
Super Sly is familiar with Thomas Steen.
Oh, okay.
He's from Winnipeg.
Oh, okay. Oh, very good.
But yeah, you look, neither one of these teams score a whole lot. The Flyers 27th in goals for at 262. They're 27th in goals against at 358. The Blackhawks are 28th in goals for at 259, and they're slightly better than the Flyers in goals against at 357. Philadelphia 17 and 48 in their last 65 overall, 13 and 40 in their last 53 as an underdog. They're 5 and 21 after giving up 2 goals or less in their last game, and 0 and 4 in their last 4 against Western Conference opponents. This is one of those games where it reminds me of a couple of years ago when Jacksonville played Houston on Thursday Night Football, and one was 2 and 12 and the other was 3 and 11.
Oh, it was a highlight reel.
And my brother said, "I won't waste free Wi-Fi to watch this game."
Excellent.
And that basically sums this one up. I mean, it'll be on ESPN3, so if I really wanted to, I could turn it on, but unless I need to go to sleep, I'm not going to tune into it. But yeah, I think Chicago will get the win. Patrick Kane, Alex DeBrincat and company at home. The Flyers have nothing to play for but pride, but they don't have any of that since, the Bobby Clark, Dave the Hammer Schultz era of the Broad Street Bullies. Now they're just the Broad Street Babies. And the Blackhawks get the victory. JC, neither of us had Chastain after he stole that win last night. Scott, who did you have? Bell?
No.
I thought you took Bell.
Oh, I had Bubba, and I had the wrong Dylan, and I had Keselowski.
Oh, Keselowski, that's right. Yeah, and I had Blaney and Almirola and Custer, but I just picked Custer because
you knew Bell was going to do well because I usually take him every week, and I didn't take him for this one, so you knew he was a lock. Right?
Yeah, but I thought he got smacked up by Busch on pit road.
Yeah. Well, and Keselowski got a penalty for speeding for entering the pits too fast. So nice job.
Yeah, my son does that all the time when we play NASCAR. Of course, then he tries to go down pit road backwards too. And then he tries to ram the cars off the road. Like I've told you, he makes a habit of trying to destroy Kyle Busch. Nathan
Cerna says he's keeping the Timmy mustache alive for me. Thank you, brother. Somebody's got to rep the foo. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my facial hair. I haven't made a decision. Chris, you ever do a beard or a mustache? I've never seen you.
I've done it before. I don't usually keep it that much. You guys go with the Iron Sheik, Fu Manchu, not Fu Manchu, but or you go the Ox Baker look.
Yeah, that's solid. Bronco Devil says NASCAR is too much of a crapshoot, especially Talladega, dude, where you've got you've got the line of just 20 guys on the lead lap within about 2 seconds of each other, and they start jostling around, and it's coming. It's coming. That wipeout is coming, and you just don't know how you're going to end up. And yeah, it didn't matter. It was just
I thought there was going to be a bigger one yesterday, but there wasn't as big of a crash as I was expecting.
Nope.
Because we talked about it the other day on the show where we had back in 2003 where you had that 27 car wreck on lap 3 of the race, and you're like, well, now there's nobody left.
Bronco Devil, by the way, says USFL games need to be absolutely free to go see. If you look in the stands, they need to start giving you money to go because they are been sparsely attended so far.
But at least the football's been decent. I mean,
it's been fine. Too much about that. Apparently, you put these games in Birmingham. You have 3 or 4 games every weekend in Birmingham. People get tired of going to see them.
That's true.
So
and that is going to be an issue. I wonder if that's just going to be a one-off season that if season 2 rolls around, that we'll see that change. Because I think they were wondering, was this actually going to pan out? Because remember, the XFL tried to have everybody play in their cities and then folded up because of COVID and what have you.
Somebody wanted to know why the Phillies were that big of a favorite over Colorado. Is Freeland really that bad?
Short answer, yes.
Yeah, he is.
He did sign a big contract extension.
So there's that.
So I mean, I guess I guess when you look at his 3 starts, he was decent against the Phillies last week, where he gave up 2 runs on 6 hits, walking 3 strikeouts in 5 innings. That lowered his ERA all the way down to 7.71.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I guess 40 and 42 can get you $64.5 million.
Yeah, he really started off poorly. He gave up 10 earned in his first 9 innings against the Dodgers and Cubs.
And the Cubs, yeah.
And that was not good at all. Like I said, he did rally a little bit against Philly. This is basically a rematch of that.
Yeah, Battle of the Kyles.
Mm-hmm. It's the Battle of the Kyles, and he did reign victorious. Although I don't think he picked up the win. With the
no, he did not.
Over Gibson there at plus 120. I don't know if you think Lightning can strike twice. You're getting a good positive price there. What do you think, bud?
I don't know. I kind of like the Phillies here, especially after they stumbled through the weekend. I think they're going to be pissed off. Schwarber will probably throw some bats again, and maybe that'll inspire that lineup because they looked absolutely anemic the other day or over the weekend, basically.
Man, you talk about an unwatchable sport, USFL. Fuck that. You watched that baseball game last night. That was just dreadful. That was horrible.
Yeah, it was a whiff fest.
I had that on in the background. I was working on draft stuff and just awful. So
I mean, on the plus side, Freeland's only given up 1 homer. On the negative side, he's given up 20 hits and 5 walks in 14 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, it's death by 1,000 cuts.
David the Italian says, I took the Rockies plus 170. I think there could be a little bit of value there. Although, again, you counting on Freeland to be good, or are you counting on Kyle Gibson to be bad? Because Kyle Gibson had started off very well this season, and he kind of has been not good his last 2 starts. He's given up 7 earned and 10 2/3 against Colorado and against Miami and Sandy Alcantara. So,
yeah, I don't know what's going on. What they did, they took a dump against Miami. I thought the Marlins were going to take care or get beat up in that series, and they lost 3 out of 4.
Well, and I was worried because Kyle Gibson is a Mizzou guy, so I've kind of followed his career a little bit. And when he made that first start against Oakland, went 7 innings, gave up just 2 hits, no earned. I'm like, holy shit, this guy. He's not Kyle Gibson anymore. And then, 7 earned runs over the next 10 innings or so. You're like, oh, yeah, he is. He's totally Kyle Gibson. So I think there could be a spin there. I wouldn't mind playing the over as well. I think you could see some runs scored, although I understand being a little reluctant to jump in with both feet and bet the Phillies in an over with the way they've been hitting the baseball. I get that. But talk about the USFL. So it's all about TV money, not people in the stands. I agree. But you've got to have enough people there at least to make it a decent TV shot. You can't just have rows and rows and rows of empty seats, can you?
Well, tell that to the Oakland A's.
Thank you. Good night. I'll be here all week. Although they've already got 1 foot in Vegas. So
Yeah, but I mean, they had 2,700 people at a game last week,
700.
and
That
they
is,
lost money opening the stadium.
and that is a cavernous ballpark, by the way. If you've ever
Oh,
been,
it is. I mean,
it's just massive, and they block off part of it. They block off the upper. They can't block off enough.
you could have blocked off 95% of the seating,
Yeah.
and it still would have looked empty.
Yeah, everybody. You could have just had everybody in the lower level from the dugouts in, and everybody would have had a fine seat. So, all right, but I know we got to keep it moving here. What else we got for today?
Yep, we'll go to the NBA, and here's the Celtics and the Nets. What do you
Oh,
know?
there you go.
The Celtics fifth in postseason scoring offense. They're averaging 112.7. They're shooting 49.6% from the floor in the series. Only 34% from three. The Nets averaging 108, which is 11th among playoff teams, despite shooting 50.2% from the field and 44.6 from three. It just goes to show you that the Nets are turning the ball over at a ridiculous rate, which is something you talked about earlier, Scott. And I think that's going to be their undoing here. Like you said, Irving and Durant are going to have to go for at least 50, but then they'll take away opportunities from Bruce Brown. And like Andrew said, they're wasting Bruce Brown's prime right now.
Best line of the day so far.
The Celtics 4-0 in their last four as an underdog, 4-0 against the spread in their last four as a road underdog. They're 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 after a straight up win. And the Nets are absolutely putrid when it comes to playing against the spread at home. 6-27-1 in their last 34 at home against the spread. 3-24 in their last 27 as a home favorite. And 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 after a straight up loss. Now, as we said in the pre-show, Reichel is pointing out that Scott Foster is in attendance and he's the series extender because he extended the Raptors 76ers series the other night. I just don't see it. Brooklyn looks lost. It seems like Durant is he claims he's overthinking. I think it's beyond that. Boston has figured out a way to scheme to get him off his game, and Irving is just Irving. I mean, he celebrated Flat Earth Day the other day, so there was that. It hasn't helped. It hasn't helped his jump shot.
You could score 50,000 points in your NBA career, but you mentioned Flat Earth one time. They don't call you a high scorer.
No, that's true.
They call you the Flat Earth guy. For all the domination, all the talk about Boston's dominated, the Nets haven't done this, they haven't done that. I think Boston has played about as well as they can play, and they've won 3 games by a total of 15 points. I don't think,
but they also have the Time Lord back, which they didn't have in the first 2 games of the series.
He did nothing in the last game. He played 14 minutes, scored 2 points, had 2 rebounds.
But he hasn't played in a month. So
I understand that. So how much value is he going to bring tonight? He's had an extra day off. I get that. So what does he play? 16 minutes? Play 18 minutes?
I think you'll probably see him get to 20, 22. But I mean, the fact is that, it helps the interior defense for the Celtics because now they're not going to be able to just drive past Al Horford or the ghost of Al Horford or Tito Horford, for those of you who remember the well-traveled basketball player from the 80s, played about 35 colleges.
No one does.
You don't remember Tito Horford? You were alive.
No. Doesn't mean I remember it. Doesn't mean if I was alive for a lot of things that I don't remember. A lot of them I participated in. So
that doesn't surprise me.
See what I'm saying? Tito Horford. All right, I want to know. We're going to stop the show. We'll keep it going, but I want to know. Drop us a comment. Look, how many people still remember Tito Horford? I want to find out who's the geek here. If it's me or you.
Hey, I remember Tito Horford.
So you've got Boston tonight plus the point. You're just gonna take them on the money line plus 100. Okay.
I probably will. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
there you go.
But some people like the points, so they're there.
Okay. Very good. And what else?
I'm going to go with the 76ers over the Raps, like we talked about. Philadelphia averaging 112.3 in the series. Toronto only averaging 104.8. They're 14th in field goal percentage at 44.3. They're 12th in three-point shooting. The 76ers, they lead the league in three-point shooting in the postseason, which is strange because you don't expect them to be a perimeter shooting team. Plus, they'll get Matisse Thybulle back on the defensive end. I know that when you talked about that last week, he didn't play a whole lot in the first couple games. But would you rather have him or not have him?
Well, sure. You'd rather have him, obviously.
Um, 76ers 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 overall. 4-1 in their last 5 as a favorite. 4-1 in their last 5 as a home favorite. The Raptors 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 against teams with winning percentage above 600. 1-4 in their last 5 as an underdog. 1-5 in their last 6 overall. Fred VanVleet not playing tonight for the Raps.
Nope.
So look for Siakam and Barnes to be the primary ball handlers. I don't know if you necessarily want a guy that plays the 3 or the 4 being your primary distributor.
You don't, but they are getting Barnes back on, and that's going to help them on the defensive side. So no,
true, and having VanVleet off the floor will help them defensively. But
yes, it will. So you might certainly check into the under as far as this.
Yeah, that's where I was leading, was the under too.
Okay.
Toronto. Now we can move on to
Toronto. Have a shot, bud?
I don't think so. I mean,
okay.
If they do, it'll be because VanVleet doesn't play, because they'll be better on the defensive end.
Fair enough.
And if Embiid coughs up the ball like he did in Game 4.
All right.
But playing at home, Philadelphia might get some calls they didn't get in Game 4, because everybody seems to be bitching about the officiating when they're the road team. We saw it with Taylor Jenkins. We saw it with Monty Williams.
By the way, comment section seems to be running in your favor. The people that are of the correct age do remember Tito Horford. So there you go.
Good old Tito. He played 63 games in the NBA, averaged 1.5 points a game, shot 30% from the floor.
How did that guy not last?
I mean, I don't know how he made it all the way to the second round in the draft.
Wow. And that's back from the days when they had more than 2 rounds.
Yeah, I know. It was the 88 draft, actually. He was drafted right in front of 2 spots ahead of Keith Smart.
Good call. Good call there.
And then Vernon Maxwell and Steve Kerr also went later in round 2.
Well, we need to keep the pedal to the metal here, my friend, because I've got this other gig that I got to do here in a little while. So
yep. Well, here's the top 2 teamers for the night. I'm
going
to go with the Dodgers.
Is this the part where I say 2 for the money?
Yep.
Okay. So here's 2 for the money, everybody.
Yeah, we got the Dodgers over the Diamondbacks. We talked about Buehler and the Dodgers offense. It's going to take advantage of Arizona, Houston, and Texas. We talked about as well. I'm going to take the Mets on the road in St. Louis. Max Scherzer gets to go back to the Gateway City. I like him over Miles Mikolas. I don't know what you think of him, Scott, but he seems to be a junk baller to me.
Yeah, he's been good so far, but we'll see. We'll see how that lasts. I've got the other side of this. I think I'm catching good value there with St. Louis. I like this St. Louis team. They are struggling to hit, but they are generally pitching pretty well. So, and Mikolas is getting off to a great start. So we'll see. I think there's some value there.
And I'm going to go with the Guardians, who are somehow an underdog against the Angels. Shane Bieber going against Michael Lorenzen, who, would be great if, you want to be like Ohtani and let him bat too, because he's got a pretty good bat. But Bieber, has owned the Angels in his career. Cleveland coming off that sweep against the Yankees, but for some reason they play better on the road than they do at home. I'm going to take the Guardians behind Bieber. Not Justin Bieber, for those of you, millennials.
Okay.
But no, Shane Bieber.
I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that play. Bieber's been outstanding. He started off beating Kansas City. Well, he lost. Actually, the Indians, the Guardians lost that game against Greinke there on the 7th of April. But he did beat the Cincinnati Reds. Gave up 3 earned and 5 1/3. But he was very good against the White Sox. That was an impressive outing. 6 innings, 4 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned.
He was helped out by the fact that Dallas Keuchel couldn't make it out of the second inning in that game.
Well, I mean, he certainly did his part. That team gave up 1 run. So
yeah, but I mean, it was 10-0 after 2 innings.
Yep. And a lot of times when you see a game like that, you'll see a pitcher give up a little worse stats because they just concentrate on throwing strikes. They don't
pitching to contact.
Right, exactly right. So that makes it even more impressive in my eyes. So,
and Bronco said Scherzer, Bieber, and Buehler is going off at plus 380 on his parlay there. So the Mets, the Guardians, and the Dodgers.
David Good says KC is so sad right now. At least I'm not betting for them. Yeah, I agree. That's just losing a couple of tough games there in Seattle. Just brutal. Just brutal. In the pen, for some reason, the Royals always seem to put together a decent pen. They fell apart on, was it Saturday night? Where the pen,
that 13-7 game,
yeah, the pen let them down, especially late. But before that, outside of Brady Singer and somebody else that sucked. I can't think who it was, but there's two guys that have really drug the pen down. The other than that, they'd been pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. But the Royals, stop if you've heard this before, they can't hit the baseball. Can't hit the baseball, Chris. They've got guys. Santana.
Oh, what was the other name you were thinking of? Jake Brentz?
No, Brentz has been decent. Brentz is
he has. Have you looked at his numbers?
Yeah, he had a brutal outing last time, but he's been okay.
He's walked 9 in 4 1/3.
That's a Royals pitcher, man. That's all right. At least they're not getting hits.
Well, I was gonna say Jackson Kowar, but he only pitched in 1 game. So
he got hammered, and that is exactly who it was. What's Kowar's giving up? How many?
7 runs on 11 hits in 3 1/3.
Yeah, that'll drag your numbers down.
But Brent's is 0-3 with an ERA of 18.69.
I really think most of that has come with one. Number one, he's pitched. He had a lot of appearances.
6.
And I would guess that's 1 or 2 bad appearances. I'm fine with Brent's. Brent's ain't the problem. I'm okay. I'm okay with Brent's.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. He's okay with Brent's
so far. 4 for the show. What do we got?
Whoops.
We're both hitting at the same time. Stop it. All right, there. You got it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. No runs in the first.
I'm used to working with a partner that doesn't do anything.
Well, see,
so as far as the technical stuff behind the scenes. So this will be a little while for me to get used to. Sorry, buddy.
It's cool. Yeah, I'm going to go with no runs in the first for the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. I think Buehler will handcuff them.
Okay.
And Kelly will do his job. I've taken the Celtics over the Nets. I actually flipped on this one after I looked at it because we were talking last night about how there was no line for the Brewers and the Giants.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Giants. Okay. Milwaukee has the 3rd fewest runs against left-handed pitching going back to last season.
Wow, did I make a terrible guess? I said 135. It's 175. Oh, well, no, actually that means
the Brewers are going about -2.
Yeah, that's no. Okay, that's.
But yeah, it's going to be a bullpen day. The Brewers or the Giants have the best bullpen in the majors. Their ERA is 171 collectively. And it's basically going to be a bullpen day. Sam Long's going to start. Okay. If he gives them 2 or 3, that'll be good.
Sam Long, ironically, won't be going long.
No. And the 76ers are taking over the Raps. I just
okay.
I don't think he's going to get it done.
Sounds like a little 4-teamer there, man. You play that Giants plus 175. That's a nice sweetener. That'll pump that parlay up for real.
Oh yeah, well, I mean the one we had yesterday that we were talking about, who was it? I think Carolina was plus 125 on the puck line or whatever. So it bumped $100 up to about 18. So
very good. All right, what else we got?
Now we got the shot in the dark.
All right.
Also known as Jim calls it the menu.
Peter Sellers would be happy.
Sure. We're going to go with the Guardians and the Angels. No runs in the first inning. I think Bieber will handcuff the Angels. Lorenzen, the Guardians don't hit all that well. So I look for that to stay there. I'm actually going to, like we were talking about the Rockies and the Phillies.
By the way, I'll bash Reichel in 10 minutes. I'm not saying it because Reichel ain't here. I'm saying it because it just came up. I'll give him shit in 10 minutes, especially if you remind me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I look for the Rockies and Phillies to stay under the total. Hopefully, Angel Hernandez isn't behind the plate anywhere for the next little bit.
Well, I'm going to guess 3 games till he's behind the plate again.
Yeah, I'm just not sure where he's going to end up behind the plate is the question. But I think that'll end up under the total. Like you were saying, Philadelphia hasn't scored a ton. The Rockies aren't necessarily known for hitting on the road. Look for that to stay under. I'm going to take the Blue Jays over the Red Sox. As we know, the Red Sox are minus some guys because they didn't get vaccinated, so they can't make the trip north of the border. Jose Barrios over Eovaldi tonight. We're going to go there. I'm going to look for Bieber to get over 6.5 strikeouts. What do you think of that, Scott?
Don't hate that. I don't hate that. Going up against who the Guardians?
The Angels.
Oh yeah. I'm fine with that. He's a guy that's going to give you some length, give you at least 5, and probably give you 6. So yeah, you're going to have lots of opportunities. I think that's a good number for him.
Yeah, I look for the Celtics and Nets to stay under 220.5, which we talked about earlier too.
Yep.
I look for the Raptors and 76ers to stay under 210.5. We were talking about that with Van Vliet not playing. It actually improves Toronto's defense.
And makes their offense suffer. So that's a double win for you if you're playing the under there. Absolutely.
Right. I'm going to look for Durant to stay under 28.5. Even Reichel said that, if he had a choice, he would take Irving on the over out of the two. And there you go. Nathan said Barrios is 6-0 in his last 6 starts. So that's always a plus. Like we talked about the Blackhawks over the Flyers. Take note, I didn't put it up top because nobody likes this game.
Right.
But I expect DeBrincat to have over 3.5 shots. He's got 40 goals on the year. He's basically the Blackhawks' best player at this point of the season. And I look for that game to stay under 6.5 because neither team can score.
No one cares enough to score. All right.
Exactly.
Very good, my friend. Any final thoughts here on our opening day? My opening day. You're a grizzled veteran at this point, but
yeah, this is like episode 112 or something like that. So
there you go.
It's not as far along as you and Mr. Amish beard guy there.
Closing in on 300, but that's
the white pumpkin head.
Nice. I don't even know what that means, but sure.
His head shaped like a pumpkin.
Wow, that's quite a shots fired there from a guy whose head takes up literally 3/4 of the shot.
Well, this coming from a guy who's wearing a tube, so.
Oh my god, dude! I guess I'm just gonna have to shave my fucking head and everybody can watch it grow in before I can dispel this terrible rumor. So.
It's not my fault. You look like you look like Wally from Dilbert.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Well, this has been our first and only show here with me co-host. So it's been fun, man. This has been fun. You got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, I mean it's been a good time. Hopefully you guys will come back tomorrow, and don't forget to watch Scott and Reichel, where Scott will give Reichel shit for 45 minutes before they finally get to the Bet the Farm play, and then go off the air.
Oh wow! Let us know what you really think, everybody. I
thought that's how you were laying out the show.
Yeah, it's pretty much the way we draw it up. So, all right,
give Reichel a bunch of grief, then give Bet the Farm, and then go off.
You guys, I smell an MMA match. Oh fuck! It better be over quick. I don't think I have the stamina that I once did. I might still have a little bit of the power, but that fucking stamina's gone. I'm not. It ain't gonna go to a decision. That's all I'm saying. So. Hey, I gotta go do a show. You guys have a great day. Don't forget to stop by and see us here in about 8 minutes. Scott and I will do our thing. But this has been a lot of fun, man. I'm looking forward to double duty. I knew you from NASCAR, and in spite of that, I'd agreed to do this anyway. So it'll be fine. And play his parlays. This guy, for all the shit I give him and all the fun we have, he can hit some parlays. That is not my game. You guys know me. You've been watching me for years. I'm not a parlay guy. So I learn a lot from Chris of the way he matches them up and puts them together. And the bottom line is he has flat out made some money a bit in these parlays. So you guys do the same. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you checking us out. As always, stay tuned for Scott and I. And, of course, stay tuned for the rest of the great Max Wagers Network lineup each and every day. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Good luck on all your plays. And, we'll see you tomorrow once again as Chris and I do just parlays. Take care, everybody.